Kevin Gillis, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the artwork in the Raccoons and just kind of explain a few things to you. When the designers or the animators, and in this particular case Paul Shibley, the animation director, did these, he would do the original shapes in blue until they got down to where they were really happy with something. And there are different notes that are put on top of the character design here, like she's 2 2/3 heads high, her eyes are halfway usually, and she's got a colored pupil that rings around her iris, so that's kind of important as well. You probably notice it when you see close-ups of her on the Raccoons. When it actually goes further down, you start to see the shading in of how the tail is going to look. You can see her smile in here, you can see her eyes a lot more, the bushiness of the tail, small hands and feet. She's got very small hands and feet. And I don't even know what size of shoe she wears, but we'll have to figure that one out. And Cyril Sneer, everybody wants to know about Cyril Sneer. Well, this is kind of, you can see the cutaways that are how the shape is coming about and how it's going to fall in the line. And this is before, obviously, it gets finalized. But you can see how it's actually meant also for the animators when they're doing their scenes as a guide. Speaking of Cyril, I've got some expression sheets here. I'm pretty sure these were done by Paul Shibley, the animation director, as well. Paul used to love to try to grab an expression from a character and just make it work, so try different things. And you can see Cyril going into his laugh here, and here he's getting kind of didactic, probably with Cedric or the pigs. And then we start to see poses, and the poses are not just taking his expressions, but they're adding them to his body movements as well. Cyril was a great character to animate, and for the cast, to be able, Michael McGee, who played the role of Cyril Sneer, he was such a great actor, and Michael would, he would just relish the moments where he'd have a chance, where Cyril got caught in something, or he had to, kind of admit that he was wrong, or a soft moment would come up and he'd start to tear up around, Cedric or Snag. And, it's just, Paul did such great work in order to be able to help the cast, the actors, to be able to work with what Cyril was doing. This was done in June '85, so this probably was just before we started animating the series. First episode of the series. I knew you wouldn't want to leave without seeing Bert Raccoon, and these are expression sheets from Bert. They've got some posing in them. That's probably his most famous look, or when he's getting caught up on something. And I can just read you a little bit here of Bert from a sizing point of view, how we would deal with this. So the model sheets would actually say, flare the neck out slightly at the collar. Well, you can see that here at the collar. It just starts to flare back out here. Longish fingers. Yes, Bert had longish fingers. Usually stuck in the peanut butter jar. Avoid the profile and the head, or a head-on, for the lip sync, because it's more difficult if you're actually looking right at the camera to get the lip sync than it is if you're slightly off to the side. One of my favorite lines is actually, I noticed it in the pig lines this morning, was flatten the crotch line. I have no idea what that means, but I'll show you. That is a flattened crotch line. And these are the pigs. They're a standard size, round eyes, larger than standard. Flatten the crotch line again. Avoid the head-on for lip sync. And also the mouth off to the side for head-on. And their fingers, as we all know, are always very short and stubby.
Oh yes, Mr. Sneer, we're going to get that right away. We promise.
And then, they'd skedoodle off.